Yeah, you watching Astrokidjay, West Side Weather, West Side Music, West Side Mafia, West Side Don, and you're here watching the 416 interview.
Talk to me about your early life. So, like, how did you first get into music, and what was your like first instance of creating music?
Honestly, I've always just made music for fun growing up, you know? Like, I'm the last born out of 6 children in my household, so my siblings were always like playing music around the house and stuff, and I always took a liking to it, but I pretty much started making music for fun in high school, you know? Booked me a session, and I dropped my first record, and my homies were really rocking with it at school, you know? Like, I started getting that local, like, high school clout or whatever, you know? And I guess out of that, I just got into it more and more and took it more serious, you know? As I seen, like, I was gaining more and more traction.
I bet. And then, you recorded your first breakthrough single, Ibiza, in a closet with just DIY gear, bro.
It's crazy.
How did you know that song was gonna blow up the way it did, bro, in the city?
Literally, no. It was literally just another studio session, just another day, you know? And I've always gone to my homie's house to, like, record my earlier records earlier on. I'd record in his closet and shit, right? So, yeah, it was literally just another day. We, took me from YouTube, just did a one,
Oh shit, the beats from YouTube too?
Beats from YouTube, but the producer ended up reaching out to me, and we ended up, like,
doing.
But
Okay.
yeah, the beats from YouTube. Literally downloaded a random beat, put in a couple bars, and I sat on the record for like 2-3 weeks. Because again, in my head, it's like this is not gonna be the record that's gonna change my life. It's just another record, right? On a random day, my homie was not shooting. My homie was having a house party, you know. So we went to the house party. We're just there, we're drinking, we're chilling, and I'm like, you know what? We should just shoot this video right now, just cause we're bored, right? And we ended up shooting the video that night, dropping the snippet 2 days later, and just boom, magic,
Fire.
Literally went up.
I know, and in my questions, I got it written down as DIY gear, but talk to me what gear you were kind of using in that closet. Like, what?
Yeah, we had some pretty good shit, though.
Oh, okay.
Like, it wasn't a closet, but we had some good shit. Like, he had an Apollo, he had, like, all the basic fundamentals and shit. Maybe the mic wasn't as great. I don't think it was, like, an FX mic or anything, but I'd be lying if I could tell you what specific mic, but it was definitely, a beginner's mic or something. Okay. But the equipment was pretty, moderate, like what we usually use in the studio and stuff. Yeah.
I bet. And was that song really showed you that damn I could take this music shit far?
I think that's when I made that switch. I want to make music. Like, I want to be an artist full time. Yeah, that's kind of what motivated me. Woke up seeing the numbers, just seeing people gravitate towards the record. I already at that point had dropped 2-3 songs again, but I was just getting love from my homies and my high school and just local people around. But that really just put me on a whole different category.
Yeah, I remember for me the one song that stood out to me of yours was a music video you shot of you leaving your job. I forgot the name of the song, bro, but I remember seeing you.
My Time.
Yeah, My Time. I remember you in that video just quitting and then showing this whole facade of you doing that. Was that really when you quit your job and took this shit?
Let me give you the lore behind that shit. So I never had, I had 2 jobs in my whole life. Okay. I worked at Mr. Greek and I worked at this pizza shop when I was 16, 17. But basically, obviously we're all from the city, right? So, and I feel like it's a sad thing, but the city tends to gravitate towards negative shit for some odd reason, and they don't really tend to gravitate towards positive shit. Like, if you post 2 artists arguing, going back and forth, that's gonna get way more numbers. It's a terrible thing, obviously. I'm not supporting it, but I'm just saying how the city is. Yeah. You'll get more numbers than an artist doing a giveaway. You know what I mean? So yeah, we had used one of the restaurant that I did the thing at for a scene in the music video, and my homie's like, yo, bro, we need to find a way to create some traction, create some type of controversy. Why don't you act like you're working a job? Because at that time, I feel like that was right before I signed, right? So, and I already had like Ibiza and all of these records, so it's like people were. It's not common for like an artist of this level to be like working a 9 to 5, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I knew that people were gonna have so many different things to say. It was gonna create some type of controversy.
Yeah.
So, in the back of the kitchen, my friend took a picture, and I sat down with my manager and my team. We're like, yeah, we're gonna freaking upload this, and we're gonna caption it. Astrokidjay gets caught working a 9 to 5. We dropped it, and that shit spread like
crazy.
wildfire everywhere. I just never cleared it up till today, you know. But and shout out everybody working 9 to 5s and stuff. We love that, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely advocate for that. But, you know, I was just trying to create some controversy because I know people there's so much haters, you know? Like, there's so much, we live in a crab in a bucket city, you know what I mean? Where people have that type of mentality. So I didn't want to create any controversy where I'm, like, saying anything disrespectful or, like, hurting anybody or, like, you know? So, yeah, that's what happened with that.
Yeah, and like for me especially, I feel like you were definitely one of the bigger artists coming out of Brampton, even now, right?
Right.
You know, coming from Brampton, how did that kind of environment force you to be like creative in non-traditional ways? Because it's not, in my opinion, because I lived in Brampton for a little while,
right.
It's not the same as being in Toronto.
It's not. Like, inspo-wise, like,
yeah.
I'd say just, I feel like Peel has a sound, you know? And I feel like the artists that came before me, like the Party Next Doors, the Tories, the Tobys, like, I kind of paved my way through that, like, you know? Kind of, trying to find the best way to, like, put this. Yeah, I feel like all the people that came before me is what inspired me, you know? Just seeing how they do things, how they create the sound that they put out. Yeah.
Okay, fire. And, you know, I'm pretty sure you mentioned this in the interview or something. You mentioned stepping back from dropping music to work on your craft, you know, your grammar, your lyrics. What discipline did you kind of instill in yourself from that kind of hiatus that you had that you still used in today?
I feel like I take more time with records as for before. Like, I would just put music out to put music out. Not put music out to put music out, but try to put as much music as I can out, thinking that maybe the more music that I put out is what's gonna make me have a crazy breakthrough. But it's really more of quality over quantity, you know? So I think that time that I took back from making music, like, I really taught myself, like, how to structure records, how to really understand, like, the fundamentals of music, teach myself music, like, how to hit certain notes, hit the right keys, production, you know, how to, like, upgrade my production with records, how to write records, you know, how to, like, actually give a record context, like, where you're going, where you came from, the end goal. Yeah, just overall in a whole everything, you know? Yeah.
Okay, bet. And then is it fair to assume then that you're more of a songwriter than like a freestyler when it comes to creating music?
I don't punch in anymore.
No.
Like, maybe if we're in a session with like 5, 6 different people, like different artists, and it's just, you know, it's one of those sessions where we're just turning up, just trying to get some lit shit out. Yeah, like, you know, I'll just punch in. But if it's like my own stuff, my own projects, my own singles and stuff, like, yeah, I definitely just sit down and write. I might take 2, 3 days on a record. Doesn't matter to me as long as the record's, you know, actually of up to par.
Okay, bet. And, you know, I know you said that you signed right after My Time came out, right?
Right.
Well, how was it, like, signing to a record label? Like, what are, like, some, you know, alleys or openings that you got by signing a record label?
Best feeling ever, you know? Because it's like, it shows you all the work you put in is finally paying off. And it's just, how do I word this properly? It changes everything as a whole. Like, you know, people think, like, when you get signed to a record label, that's when you could, like, slow down and chill. The money's here, you made it, and it's like, you really gotta go times 10 now. Like, the work that you were doing before, it doesn't even feel like work compared to the work that the labels just, you know, throw on your head and everything starts moving really, really fast. A lot of more doors start opening, more opportunities start opening. Remember, like, majors put you in those rooms, they develop you, they shape you to be a superstar, right? So, yeah, a lot of more opportunities started coming. I got a chance to work with a lot of producers I looked up to coming up, a lot of artists I looked up to coming up.
You want to drop names?
I don't know. I don't know if because some of them are a little bit controversial.
Okay. All right, no worries then.
Right now, in the moment.
Okay, but then I was going to ask you as well, because I feel like low-key in the music industry right now, there's kind of a shift away from signing record label deals to signing more like distribution,
deals,
right? Yeah. Like, let us know, like, what are like the pros and cons to like signing a record label versus a record label deal versus like a distro deal?
Okay, a distro deal, like a distribution deal, I feel like you have more ownership. You have more ownership and you also have more control with your stuff. Because there's different types of distros, there's also different types of major record label deals, right? And so I guess one form of a distro is a distro saying we're going to take a small percentage and you're going to keep majority of the percentage, but the percentage that we're taking is from pushing your records out there and marketing it beyond your, like, better than the way you could market it, you know?
Okay.
And we'll take a percentage off of that and you own your masters and you keep your catalog. Sometimes there's situations where a distribution deal will give you a deal and be like, hey, we're going to give you an advance so you could keep doing your day-to-day stuff and we're going to own this record for like 2-3 years, and after we recoup your our advance, we'll split the record and you could start making pros and we could start making pros too. But the best thing about that is that you already used the distribution deal to push your record and get the marketing. So you got the platform. So the next time you won't really have to like go back to a distribution team because a distribution company, because you already used the distribution company for the marketing, everything. You created your own platform, you know? So yeah, I'd say with the distribution is just better because you have more control. You own your masters at the end of the day. And yeah, it's not something you're locked in with. With a record, a major record label deal, less ownership, less control. There's a chain of command, you know? There's things you can't do without other people higher up approving it. It's also kind of a little sticky situation that artists get themselves into because obviously labels are giving you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the tough part now is taking the money that the label gave to you and making sure you make that back plus pros. So the label looks like they actually sign, like their investment is, you know, bringing something back. So yeah, I'd personally say that distribution deals are better right now. If your end goal is to be independent and you want to have full ownership of your music and you're trying to build your own empire, but to each its own, right? It really depends with everybody's like situation. Some artists, major record deals could be better for them. Some artists, distribution deals could be better for them. It really just depends with what your end goal is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because every deal is different. Like, me and you could both be signed to Interscope and your deal is different and my deal is different. It really depends on the way you negotiated your deal. So you might have more of a percentage of your records than I do. You might own your masters, I might not. It really depends how you negotiate it.
So then, based off what you just said about the differences, would it be fair to assume that like artists who sign a long distribution label deal, they're thinking a lot more long-term, 10, 20 years down the road where they want their music with, and owning their own rights to their own music, whereas for a record label deal, they're thinking more short term, like, you know, in 10, 20 years, they're not going to be able to own their records or their publishing rights to their songs just for like a big ass sum.
See, that's the thing, Sean. It really depends on how you negotiated your deal, because it doesn't essentially mean that you signed a major record deal with like Def Jam or Interscope that you're not going to own your records in 5-6 years, or you're not going to own the masters. It just depends how your deal's negotiated, you know, and how well you're performing. There's a lot of artists that are signed to majors and they own their masters. 21 Savage is one of them, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to like put out false information and say if you're trying to do something long term and own your music, don't sign to a record label.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. It really just depends with your situation, what you're trying to, what's your end goal, and yeah, how you negotiated your deal. But personally, I would go with the distro.
Okay.
I would go with the distro because you just have more, you're more hands-on with your things. There's you have more control. There's no chain of command, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if it's a situation with one of those distros where you got an advance, it's in your control how you're gonna make this shape. You feel me? As to a label is kind of different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it operates a bit different.
Bet. And then I also want to talk to a single that you dropped like about a year ago, but I still be bumping to this day because I think it's like probably one of your top songs you ever created, Devil in Disguise, with Menace and Duvy and all that. How did that song come to be, and what was that like working with these artists?
Great. I'm not gonna say it was like, it wasn't like nothing insane. Just
but like how did Duvy kind of like, were you in the studio with him or did you just kind of send it to him?
At the time I was in Atlanta working on GBTM, so I had sent Duvy like the open verse, and I sent Anti the open verse. Obviously Duvy's from the city, you know, Sposki. And yeah, he sent that shit back in like 2 days.
Damn.
Anti sent the shit back in like a week, and then we shot the video like 2-3 days before the project dropped, and Bobby edited that shit fast as hell. Shout out to Bobby. And yeah, Devil in Disguise came about, you know.
Okay.
I wasn't no like crazy inferior plan or anything.
Yeah,
like that. I was like, yeah, I feel like Broski would sound great on this, and Anti was a good fit. I wanted to do something with like a merge of like Canadian artists and American artists, you know, because I feel like I haven't dropped too much with like people from outside. I don't have too many features that I've dropped with. I've worked with hella artists, but I've dropped with very few artists, you know.
All right, speaking of collaborations, you know, they've played a big part in your growth as well, you know, especially with Ibiza. You made that with Steno.
Right.
You know, how do you choose who you want to collaborate with? Is it more of like a music kind of distinct sound they have, or like just like the vibe in the studio with them?
Both, I'd say, really. Obviously, first starts off with the sound. You got to be saucy, right? And I got to feel like, yeah, me and you would... Our sounds could collaborate, we'd make some great shit. But also the vibe, just the energy of the artist, you know? His branding, you know? The way the artist carries himself. I'm more of an energy guy, you know? So if I could feel your energy, you know, and you have a good vibration to you, 9 times out of 10, we're gonna make some crazy shit. But I feel like that's why I'm more selective, I feel like, than other artists when it comes down to like collaborating with people, you know?
I bet. And I ask every artist or most artists that I interview, what's a dream collab that you have within the local music scene here, the GTA? And then what's one artist that you want to work with, just in general, living or dead, in the mainstream?
Local. So hard one. I don't know. I don't think I have anybody local. And then
just talk to me about like one artist that you'd want to have a dream collab with, that you could have a dream collab with, and it could be living or dead, an artist. Okay.
Yeah, for local, I wouldn't, no dream one, you know? But I am open to working with anybody, you know? Say The Boy for the second one, you know? Drake, obviously. Hometown Hero, Tory Lanez, shit, Adele. There's too many. Fuck. And Dead or Alive? Does it have to be one?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I bet. Let's say 2 then. Let's make it a little easier.
2?
Or like, what's like the first artist that pops into your mind when you think about that?
Michael Jackson.
Quasi said the exact same thing.
Oh God, because yeah, definitely Michael Jackson. And who else? Gotta give it to my girl Whitney. Give it to Whitney.
I bet. And then you both.
And Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill?
Yeah.
Okay, fire. Yeah. And then you described listening to throwback R&B before sessions for melody inspiration.
I was just into R&B coming down here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yo, what melody from your past inspired one of your current songs that you got out right now?
Oh, Genuine. Hold on. Let me play the record for you. Genuine in Those Sheets. And I remixed it and I turned it into some gangster shit. I turned it into In Those Streets. Yeah, some freaky ass shit, but it's tough. So yeah, I took this Genuine record and I flipped it to this. Still remember the melody?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them right there. In Those Sheets, Genuine in Those Sheets. I've done Bear, but like I haven't dropped too many. You know, those are one of the bigger ones that I've dropped though.
Okay, fire. Does that shit come naturally to you? Like being able to do...
Yeah.
Damn, that's honestly crazy work.
Sometimes, yeah, I just listen to shit and I'm like, yo, honestly, you should have put me on that. Feel like I could do a good job on that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, for sure. And then, you know, your latest album, Sorry for the Wait, you know, shows your evolution in this music journey, you know? If you could pick one song from that album that, like, encompasses your new era of your music, like, creation, right? Which would it be? Or this new sound you're trying to tap into?
Campfire.
Campfire?
Yeah, Campfire, and I'd say On My Own, the outro.
Why those two songs specifically?
I just feel like that's the new sound that I'm going for. That's the era that I'm in. That's just like an intro to like all the new sounds and new versions of Astro that's coming up.
Okay, fire. And then, you know, what would be your, you know, through everything that you've been through, you know, record labels, you know, going viral in the city, everything like that, what would be your advice to, like, new artists just trying to hop into the game or artists that are trying to make it out right now?
Just don't overthink it, you know? Don't overthink it. I feel like overthinking stuff held me back a lot, hindered my career a lot. Ego, you know? Like, I feel like we have a big problem with egos in our city. Just lose the ego and just create, you know? Any idea that you have, just, there's no stupid idea, there's no dumb idea. You don't know what you could get out of it. Just, you have something in your head, just go ahead and release it. Don't let anybody scare you out your plans, you know? Any great idea or anything you have in your mind, just go full force with that. Go all the way in. And I feel like music's just a crazy journey, you know? So make sure you take some time for yourself, get your mental right.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, just have a lot of like resilience because it's not an easy journey. There's so many ups and downs. You know, there's so many like rainy days, but there's also a lot of sunny days. But the days that are stormy is what matters the most, is pushing through it, you know what I mean? And yeah, bro, just thrive. Like, you know, keep going, keep trying new things. Don't box yourself in. Yeah, bro. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Like, if you believe in it yourself, like, you just gotta do it, you know what I mean? And no one's gonna believe in it more than you. No one's gonna believe in your vision more than you believe in your vision. So if you believe in your vision, just go all the way in, you know? Full blast, full drive. Man, that would be the advice I give to artists coming up.
Okay, bet. And then lastly, you know, New Year's coming up. What do you got dropping in the New Year? You know, singles, tapes, concerts even coming up.
Yeah, trying to do shows in the New Year. A lot of music. I'm gonna drop about like 2 projects, working on another one right now.
Throughout the whole year or like first half of the year?
First half of the year.
Damn, okay.
2 projects first half of the year. have a single January 9th, the first single of the year, the music video.
What's the name?
Called Iraqis. It's with Chef Habib, the producers I've been working with. And yeah, just gonna have to stay in tune for now. A lot of features dropping next year. I know I've been holding on other collabs, so a lot of features dropping next year. Yeah, just expect new sounds, new genres that, you know, I feel like people don't know that I could tap into. A whole new wave of music. Like very few rap records are dropping. More like R&B, soul, contemporary R&B, Afro beats. Yeah.
Pop perks kept me in my zone. Bit the truth and it's all out the dome. He spin on my son from the P into mine. And I blap in the mirror, I fall with his skin. My nigga, he trapping like Tony.